Well, we're about 3 weeks out on the Harley Quinn disaster, and people are still wondering why. Why did it fail? What could have possibly happened? And they don't get it. It's actually dropped 60% in its third week of domestic release. It's making some money overseas, not that much, and it's still got some markets to open up on, and that's what we're going to get to. We're going to get to Japan in a second because they're doubling down on this weirdo marketing for the film over there, which I just don't get. You think you would have taken a hard look at what you did with this movie to figure out why did this fail, right? Because this article does ask an interesting question. Why didn't Why didn't Birds of Prey get a boost from Aquaman, Wonder Woman, or Joker, which were all fantastic films? So if you're a comic book fan, or just a fan of comic book movies, and you say, "Oh, Harley Quinn's coming. I really liked all of those darn DC movies. Why didn't you go see it?" I stand by the marketing, the way this movie was pushed. They pushed it as this it's only for ladies event, and it backfired. Backfired spectacularly. Sonic ended up crushing it, and you've got some more movies coming out, like The Invisible Man comes out this weekend, and so on and so on. I think Birds of Prey is pretty much done. They're going to try to get a couple more pushes, though, in markets like Japan, except they're doing the same weirdo marketing like they did here. So check this out. So they're doing a couple of different things over in Japan. I want to go through them because I find this pretty interesting. So Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey gets a PG release in Japan. So the thing is they're doing a lower rating, and they're also doing some weird kind of marketing that are girls only. It's like, way to double down in the messaging that this movie isn't for guys. All right, yeah, let's just double that down. You're trying to make your money back, trying to make a little bit more money, but let's double down on that woke marketing. I'm sure that's a smart idea. It's like they didn't learn anything. You know, I would have marketed this movie as just a fun comic book movie. They chose to have Ewan McGregor run around and tell men their time is up. That probably wasn't the smartest way to market this movie, but, you know, whatever. You'd think that they would want to make some money back. Japan, there's some money over there. They could have made a little bit of bucks over there, but instead they're doubling down on the garbage. I also find it strange that this is PG-12. What did they edit out? Because usually, you know, I don't know how many of you watch anime, but that stuff can get pretty brutal at times. You know, it seems like, you know, a lot of the stuff over there is, you know, a little bit more hardcore compared to here in the West. So I'm wondering, did they even take anything out of the movie? Or did the movie just get a PG-12 over there because of, you know, how it is? Because they can just, I mean, if they're dubbing the movie, which I'm guessing they're going to do, they can just change any swearing or anything like that anyway. The snow scene, if you know what I'm talking about, where she inhales a little bit of snow, that probably got cut out, I would imagine. I don't know. I tried to look around to find out what got cut out, if anything, and I couldn't find anything. So I'm curious to what got removed for this film. I am really curious. So anyway, let's get into this a little bit. It's learned that Warner Brothers has decided to go with a toned-down version of the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie in Japan. A new Japanese trailer, which watch below, and I did watch it. It's your standard stuff. Confirms Birds of Prey will be released with a PG-12 rating in the country, not the R rating like the rest of the world, and that the title of the flick is being referred to as the Harley Quinn movie. That's also pretty interesting. So they're just calling it the Harley Quinn movie over there. Smart. I don't know how popular this stuff is over there, how popular American characters are in Japan. I don't know. I can only guess. We can guess that the Japanese version of Birds of Prey will remove all of the F-bombs and such. Yep, that's what I'm guessing as well, which is the reason for the R rating and is also something being blamed for the movie's poor performance at the box office, as the younger crowd didn't go see the movie along with everyone else. The younger crowd will still find ways to see the film. So I don't buy that. Deadpool and a few other movies have done fine with the R rating. Joker did exceptionally well with it, and it didn't even get released in one of the biggest markets in the world, that being you know where. I don't even want to mention it in the video because YouTube's really cracking down on that reference now, so I'm staying away from that one. You know what country I'm talking about. It's the one that's in the news all the time right now. So I'm not buying that this movie was hurt by that. If anything, they should have leaned into it more. That probably would have helped them be a little bit more successful. And the woke marketing they shouldn't have done that either. But anyway, here's the other interesting thing. Harley Quinn Birds of Prey still woke. So this is what they're doing over there. And I was like blown away by this because to me, this is the stupidest thing you would ever do. Why would you do this? Especially over in Japan where they don't like this kind of garbage. But they say this. What is also interesting about the Japanese release is that Margot Robbie and Warner Brothers continue marketing the flick only to the female audience, as WB Japan has announced a contest that is giving away 30 pairs of tickets for a girls-only preview. Excuse me, but this preview is for women only, states the contest rules. Margot Robbie and WB marketed the R-rated version of Birds of Prey to a woke audience, which is a big reason why it failed miserably at the box office. I totally agree with that. 100% agree with that. That marketing buried this movie 100%. It hurt it because you can't sit there and lecture your patrons and expect them to show up. It's like, hey, listen, we're going to tell you your time is up, slap you across the face a couple times, lecture you for this movie. You still want to come see it? No. No, sir. I do not want to come see it. So continuing on, it is unknown if Warner Brothers plans on releasing a PG version of Birds of Prey in other countries or a re-release for the rest of the world, but since the movie did perform so terribly at the box office, I wouldn't doubt that it will happen. And it wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened. Remember, Deadpool actually did this. So they had the R-rated version of Deadpool 2, did very well. And then around like a couple of months after the main release, they came out with a PG-13 version, and it came out around Christmas time of that year. I don't think it did very well, and I don't think doing a re-release of the movie in PG-13 fashion would help this movie very much either. I really don't think it would. Especially by then, you already got a bunch of copies online. People can go and watch cam versions, and usually you start to see Blu-ray rips float around, promotional copies of rips floating around. I don't think that it would help this movie at all. Your time to get the money has already passed. Okay. And if you haven't even learned from the marketing, they're still doing it. They're still trying to girls only for their little contest. It's like, really? So I can only imagine the marketing that they're doing over there for this film. I bet it's terrible. So they're doubling down. It didn't work the first time. Maybe they think it'll work the second time. I don't know. But I do find it interesting that now in other countries where they still haven't debuted the movie, they are trying to maybe take the rating down. And like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if they announce a Harley Quinn PG-13 edition coming out. I don't know what they'll call it, but I wouldn't be shocked by that. Because remember, like I said, they did do it with Deadpool, so I could see them trying it, but it's old news at this point, you know? You have the initial hype and excitement period when the movie releases initially. Re-releases rarely help boost numbers very much. I remember they tried to do this with Avengers Endgame because they desperately wanted to beat Avatar's number, and they were only a little bit away from it. So they released a special edition that had like an unfinished Hulk CGI scene. It's terrible. It looked terrible. And, that didn't bring in very much money. So rarely do these re-releases bring in a lot of money. I just don't see it really boosting the numbers that much. But they're determined. They don't want to call this movie a flop. They're so against it. They're so mad that this movie failed. I find it hilarious, and I enjoy their tears. Their tears so much, they taste delicious. And then real quick, there was some news about the upcoming Suicide Squad movie with Harley Quinn. Now, here's what's really interesting about that. She's going to be a major part of the movie, and she's been running around in a red dress for the movie. She looks pretty good in it. So I find it funny. It's like, we're going back to that male gaze, huh? We're going to go back to that old look, eh? This didn't work out very well for you? Putting her in like weird baggy clothes and jumpsuits. That wasn't working out for you very well? I don't quite get it. I don't get it there, buddy. Oh, well. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a return to form for the next movie for her. But I don't have too much faith in it because, like I said, look what they're doing in Japan. They're changing it up because, why not double down on the same thing that buried the movie in the first place? It's like they're just going to bury their head in the sand and see if it works. I don't know. But either way, That's it. Let me know your thoughts on this. What do you guys think about this? Do you think the woke marketing will work in Japan? Give me your thoughts. Also, share the video. Throw a like up. 3 most important things you can do for a content creator are share the video, leave comments, and likes. Also, make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.